So today we're going to be talking about the top 5 best undefeated prospects right now in the UFC. Starting off in the welterweight division, we have got the number 7th ranked welterweight in Michael Morales. Now, Michael Morales has a professional MMA record of 18 wins, 0 losses. He is on a mega win streak right now in the UFC. Obviously, just got ranked inside the top 10 after he absolutely smoked Gilbert Burns in the very first round of their fight. Michael Morales seems to be a really complete fighter in my opinion. Now, do I think he's going to become world champion? Gonna need to see more of him before I make that assumption, to be honest. Hopefully they make him versus Leon Edwards next. I know that is a fight they're talking about, but he looked really good in there against Gilbert Burns. But again, Gilbert Burns is coming to the end of his career, but even still, Gilbert Burns, former title challenger, beat Tyron Woodley, give Usman a pretty competitive fight at some points. He's beaten the likes of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson as well. Obviously went tooth and nail with Khamzat Chimaev, and to see what Michael Morales was able to do with him in there, he just absolutely blitzed him. He's big for the welterweight division. He can grapple, he can strike, he's got really good boxing, he's actually got really good footwork as well, which was displayed in his last fight. Obviously in his last 2 performances, he's got 2 first round KOs over Gilbert Burns, over Neil Magny, who is like the gatekeeper of the UFC. Before that, he also got a really underrated win over Jake Matthews. I actually rate Jake Matthews a lot. I think he is really good in terms of the unranked welterweights. But Michael Morales, he's young as well. He's only 26 years of age. He's got a lot more to give in the sport, in my opinion. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. Like I said, there are talks of him versus Leon next. I think he would beat Leon Edwards next, to be honest. Over 5 rounds might be a bit different, but this would be a 3-round fight because there is no way on earth the UFC let Leon Edwards headline an event again after that Sean Brady matchup. There is no way on earth, and Michael Morales isn't a big enough name to warrant another main event, to be honest. Anyway, like him versus Gilbert Burns wasn't even a main event fight either, to be honest. But we know what the UFC is doing now. They have the fights in the Apex. They don't give a shit about their product really anymore. They'd rather promote Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford instead of their own product. But anyway, Michael Morales, like I said, if he fights Leon is just too timid, maybe isn't the word to use, but he's not aggressive enough to keep someone like Michael Morales off him. Michael Morales' footwork was really good against Gilbert Burns. He's a big puncher as well. I think he would just overcrowd Leon. I don't think Leon could deal with his pressure, and it's not as if there's like a massive hole in his grappling either. The guy looks very competent in that department as well, so he is in at the number 5 spot. Moving on, another guy in the welterweight division. Look, I wanted to be so different here and put Michael Morales above him, but Shavkat Rakhmonov has to be on here. Look, Shavkat Rakhmonov's stock has kind of fallen a bit, obviously, after the Ian Gary matchup, where Ian Gary showed that he isn't invincible. Like, I think Ian Gary on a full count would beat Shavkat, to be honest. But in saying that, he's beaten Ian Gary, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Jeff Neal, Neil Magny. You know, he's got like 4 wins already inside of the top 15 in the welterweight division. Obviously, he was meant to fight for the belt. Got injured. We haven't seen him for a while now. I don't know when he's coming back. I'm seeing a lot of rumours saying he's not going to be back to 2026, which is a long time for him to be out of the cage. But we all know what we're going to get when you see Shavkat Rakhmonov fight. An aggressive, just out-and-out finisher. This guy's looking to either TKO you, knock you out on the feet, which I think there is a lot of holes in his striking defense, but he's got a good chin. And he is powerful. He can crack. Also, the grappling aspect of Shavkat Rakhmonov, if he gets you to the mat, he's very aggressive, looking for submissions. Now, in terms of his grappling, he is a more of a traditional, like, look to go for double unders, clinch up with your body lock type stuff. He's not really known for his double leg, single legs, although that is an element of his game. But Shavkat Rakhmonov, big square head, can take a shot, can give a shot. I do think he would get beat by a lot of the guys in the welterweight division. A lot might be a bit of a push. But for example, like Usman would beat him, in my opinion. Joaquin Buckley would beat him, in my opinion. Ian Gary on a full camp would beat him, in my opinion. Bilal Muhammad would beat him. JDM would beat him, in my opinion. I think Shavkat is very beatable, but he seems to keep winning. Like, I'm going to hold my hands up, laugh at me if you want. I thought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was going to beat him. How wrong was I? But yeah, Shavkat Rakhmonov, I'm looking forward to seeing him back. He always does deliver in fights. I mean, a lot of people criticise the Ian Gary matchup. It wasn't as shit as what people make it out to be. There's definitely been a lot worse fights out there, but he is sitting at the number 4 spot. In terms of who's on the list, who I think is like going to lose first, it's not Shavkat. There's someone else on the list. I'm just thinking. Ignore that comment. Moving on. This is the guy who's most likely to lose first, in my opinion. It is Khamzat Chimaev. Look, Khamzat Chimaev is going into a matchup against DDP, where I believe he is the favourite right now. And for ages, I have been on the Khamzat Chimaev is going to just destroy DDP hype train. But the closer we get to this fight, I don't see Khamzat getting him out of there early. I think DDP is going to be able to last on the... Now, I think DDP is going to get dominated for the first 2 rounds, but I think he's going to do a really good job of kind of keeping himself safe. Like, I think he will take some shots, ground and pound shots from Khamzat, and I think he might give up his back at some points, but I think he'll do a really good job of keeping his chin down, not giving Khamzat anything to lock up a submission with, and I do think rounds 3, 4 and 5 DDP is going to go out there and just put it on Khamzat when Khamzat is gassed. I think when it comes down to it, DDP probably has more heart, and I think that's what this is going to come down to. This matchup, I think DDP is going to put it on him, and I am leaning towards Dricus du Plessis right now. However, I would not be shocked if Khamzat just picks him up, dumps him, and subs him inside 2 rounds, because this guy is the most dominant first round fighter I think we have ever seen in the UFC. This guy, rounds 1 and 2, is dangerous. I mean, coming off his last fight against Robert Whittaker, he broke Robert Whittaker's face in there. He quite literally broke Robert Whittaker's face. The fight before that, it should have been a draw in my opinion against Kamaru Usman, but a really, really dominant first round from Khamzat Chimaev, and Khamzat did injure himself in that fight against Kamaru Usman. But even when you look at his other performances against Kevin Holland, that was a Kevin Holland that... It wasn't at welterweight, but I don't think it was at middleweight either. I think it was like a catchweight. That is when Khamzat missed weight. And we know how good Kevin Holland is in the welterweight weight class. Obviously, his fight against Gilbert Burns, he did show how tough and durable he is in that matchup. But that was a 3-round fight. When he's going in there against DDP, it will be 5 rounds. Another thing as to why I'm kind of leaning towards DDP, DDP and his team are really good at game planning. Like, I know DDP's got this really weird and wacky style when he goes out there and fights, but his team really knuckle in on the game planning for their opponents, and that is something so crucial to elite level MMA in my opinion. But Khamzat Chimaev has the chance to become a UFC champion by the end of the year. Do I think it's going to happen? As of right now, no, but don't be surprised if he does. Moving on to number 2. Look, this guy's the best featherweight right now. He is better than Volkanovski. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on this one. People that just hate on Movsar Evloev. Is he entertaining? No. Is he a big finisher? No. But this guy is the best right now. An underrated part of Movsar Evloev's game is his boxing. I think he is going to dismantle Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico, I don't know how he's in this position. He must be good at sucking it. That's why Dana's given him this position, because... I understand Patchy Mix getting a ranked opponent. I understand Michael Chandler. I understand Patricio Pitbull. Aaron Pico isn't in the category with those guys. He's just not. He doesn't have a big legacy in Bellator, and he's getting the number 1 contender in Movsar Evloev. Let's talk about the Volkanovski matchup, right? I think, now obviously people say Volkanovski maybe beat Islam in the first fight, bro. And that was at lightweight, you know. Volkanovski's going to be able to just out-grapple Movsar Evloev. I don't think it's going to happen. Volk isn't in his prime anymore. Also, this is what I see happening. This is how I think Movsar's going to do really well against Volkanovski. When Volk leaves exchanges, he's constantly leaning back. I think Movsar Evloev is going to be able to shoot for a shot, like a double leg, as Volk is moving back, using Volk's momentum to then take him down. And I think Movsar has really good control when he gets you to the mat. Is he dangerous on the mat? No, but he can rack up a lot of minutes controlling you on the mat. I think that he is really good at when the fight gets to the mat, keeping you there and controlling you there. And like I said, I think his boxing is really underrated. Look, would I pick Movsar to beat Prime Volk? No, but Volk isn't Prime Volk anymore. And Movsar is really good. And the fact that he's being really disrespected right now makes me a fan of him even more. I don't know why. I don't know why. But again, 19-0. Beat Aljamain Sterling, Arnold Allen, Diego Lopez, Dan Ige. This guy is on a crazy run right now in the featherweight division. And finally, the best undefeated fighter right now, pound for pound, number uno. 2-division world champion, Ili Totoro. This guy is pound for pound number 1 right now. He has the best 3-fight win streak ever. Obviously, his win streak is more than 3, but Volk KO, Max KO, Oliveira KO. If he knocks out Islam, which I think he would do, he's the best fighter of all time. The GOAT of the sport. If he beats Islam, whether that be at welterweight, whether that be at lightweight, he will beat him regardless of what weight class. He is the best fighter of all time. Hands down. This guy is on GOAT status nearly. He's top 10 all time already. He's better than Khabib. He's close to top 5 all time. This guy is different level. No one beats him in the UFC right now. Let me know who you think are the best undefeated fighters right now in the UFC. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I will see you again in the next one.